Welcome, I am the Loud Little Ducky. Today we are going to start part 1 of Greg Gillespie versus Laura Owens. And Greg is victim right now that we know of 3. He was the one prior to Clayton Eckhart and the one after Maraschini. So he is the middleman. So we are going to jump into their story and looking at all the evidence that is available for his case. So follow along with me, hit that like button, subscribe so you have part 2 when it comes out, and turn those notification bells on, and let's jump in. Between June 30th, 2021 and July 20th, 2021, Greg Gillespie and Owens go on 2 to 3 dates. Some have said 6 maybe, but it wasn't that many. It was just a few dates, several dates. Gillespie wants to stop dating. He doesn't want to be with her anymore. There was intercourse, which Gillespie will admit it's a mistake. Maybe with other people after her, he didn't rush to doing that because of this case. Who knows? But from my understanding, he is happy with his partner right now, and everything else. So he was able to move on after this encounter. But 11 days after their encounter, Owens tells Gillespie she is pregnant from the second date. So, you know what? Props, they didn't do it on the first date. Also letting him know he could control the outcome of the situation, air quotes, if he agreed to be in a committed relationship with her. So here there is no dating contract, but she needed a commitment to be in the relationship with her. She wasn't going to make him like sign on the dotted line or anything. But she learned because Gillespie says, okay, like we can do that. And then he didn't. So she was going to make sure that Clayton signed on that dotted line, get that contract in there. So she learned from this experience. Because Owens wants no takesy backsies. So we have from One Medical, which is the medical thing through Amazon. They do have actual buildings that people can go see them at. They also do telehealth appointments. But this says July 16th, 2021. Owens gives her date of birth, to whom it may concern. Patient was evaluated in office today and was determined to be in early stages of pregnancy. How did she know that? How does she know she's in the early stages of pregnancy? Did she confirm it with an ultrasound? How do we know this? Patient was on seizure medication that decreased the effectiveness of her oral contraceptives. I don't feel like that's a line that would be used because this doctor does not know if the seizure medication actually decreased the effectiveness of the oral contraceptives. It could have been. It could have also been that Owens isn't taking birth control properly. It could be used to say that condoms weren't used or a condom broke. So I don't see how she can definitively state that she was on seizure medication that decreased the effectiveness of her oral contraceptives without any proof. Also, it's not something that a doctor would just willingly put in a note to say somebody was pregnant. They would give you like your lab results and things like that. They don't need to make a comment on this. That part might be a HIPAA violation, to just be sending this out to whoever, to whom it may concern. Please contact our office for any further questions. Sincerely, John Jones, DO. And then it's got his nurse practitioner ID number, or national practitioner ID, whatever it is. Then we go over to procedure performed at One Medical. Date, July 16th, 2021. Patient, Owens, goes by Laura. Date of birth, the phone number. And then it's got this part that says, is patient pregnant? Usually it would just be a yes or a no. And then, but it says, see attached for complete demographic and insurance information. But they've left, is patient pregnant? Yes, like they've left that blank. And then they just put, for a complete thing, you can look at this. Procedure done was a urine pregnancy test. So she did a pee stick. Indication was amenorrhea, which is just the lack of a period. That's all it is. I have amenorrhea for the rest of my days, but not real amenorrhea because I obviously had a hysterectomy. So, but amenorrhea all around. Procedure summary. Result. 2 lines positive. Okay. Like usually it would say, maybe somebody put this on there, but maybe it would say positive HCG test. Urine pregnancy test was positive. I don't know. 2 lines positive. I don't know if that would actually be the thing. Thank you, John Jones, and the MPI number and his email address. So some of this stuff looks fishy. I don't know that I'm buying it. The note, I don't buy it all. A positive HCG test, not buying it. I don't care what that says. I need further information to conclude whether or not somebody is pregnant. Okay, so we are jumping to August 1st, 2022 with this. And this is from Marlene, which we've seen in the Eckerd case. And it's 2 Owens, and they CC'd a lawyer. It says, Miss Owens, ex parte communication with the court is not allowed. I am copying opposing counsel on this email so the counsel is aware of what I'm telling you. This email address is for informational purpose only. If you want to provide the judge with substantive information regarding your case, you must do so in accordance with the rules. Best regard. So Owens is emailing the court, as she does. We know she did it in the Clayton Eckerd, that she emailed Commissioner Duty. So she has no problem emailing the courts. And the court has told her, at least here, and I don't know how many more times, this is not where you communicate. You cannot communicate with the court by yourself. If you want to make a communication to the court, one, you must let the other side know that you're talking to the court. You can't just single-handedly do it behind somebody's back, because the court is going to alert the other people. So it says August 1st, Owens emails the judge accusing Gillespie and his attorneys of being involved in the March 4th assault. Owens alleges that the FBI was investigating the incident, but is unable to be independently verified, nor whether the alleged investigation resulted in anything. Unknown if the alleged incident was reported to the police. A hearing on Gillespie's motion to dismiss Owens v. Gillespie, the abortion coercion case in Maricopa County, is held on August 17th. The case was later dismissed by the judge on October 12th. So this is where she accuses Woodnick and Greg and stuff of doing things, which is ridiculous. I'm not buying it. Already too much BS, and we're not very far in. This is the email that was sent from Owens on August 1st. And she gives the case number and says, important. Hi, Marlene. I hate to email you again, but there's a major issue with the defendant, Mr. Gregory Gillespie, and his attorney, Mr. Greg Woodnick, that needs to be brought to Judge Bacchus's attention privately before she rules on the motion to extend filed by my now former attorney, Carrie Ramos, as I have. On March 4th, 2022, I was drugged, violently assaulted, and armed. I have strong reasons to believe that both the defendant and his counsel were involved. What? What reasons do you have to strongly believe this? Like, you are seriously just pulling allegations out of your rear end to stall a case. You continue to make allegations about somebody assaulting you and doing these things. Every man you come into contact has been accused of R-ing you. And you wonder why no man wants to stick around. It says, and there's a pending FBI investigation regarding the incident. To my knowledge, neither defendant nor his counsel are aware that they are being looked into. Well, don't you think they should know that? I mean, maybe not, because, if they had really done this, you wouldn't want to give them a chance to hide the evidence. But, I was worried that submitting a motion ex parte could accidentally be publicly e-filed and accessed by them, which would pose a threat for my safety. I apologize for sending an email, but I could not think of any other way to alert Judge Bacchus about this without giving the other side confidential information about what has transpired. Where is your proof, woman? You are a disgusting human. Why? What is wrong with you? You need mental help. And if you're mentally sane in doing this, which I don't think you can be, what happened in your life to cause you to do this? Just tell us why you do this stuff. There's a reason behind it. And that's what therapy could help you figure out, why you do this. And then once we figure out why you do it, the meaning behind all of this stuff, you can start fixing your behavior to where this stuff isn't happening anymore. I don't think that you are just this evil, evil person. Your actions are awful. And what you're doing is evil. I don't know if you're just listening to the devil and that's part of the mental stuff or what. But I would like to believe that it is just something mentally wrong with you or something that you need to seek therapy on because you have some unresolved issues somewhere that's causing you to do this. I have an order of protection against Mr. Gillespie, which was issued on November 12, 2021, and was uncontested. Just weeks prior to that, another woman, blank, was granted an order of protection against him as well. When my pregnancy was confirmed to him directly by One Medical, Kierland, the nurse practitioner was concerned enough about his reaction to it that she requested to speak to me alone about whether or not I felt safe and notated it. You know what they ask me every time I go to the doctor? And what they asked my daughter every time we went to the doctor? Whether she felt safe at home. Whether she ever had thoughts of unaliving herself. Or hurting herself. Or any of that stuff. It is not because they were concerned enough about the reaction. It is something they ask every single patient. On March 4th, 2022, just hours before I was nearly killed in an accident described above, I received an unexpected email from Mr. Woodnick without a subpoena. He had somehow obtained the complete 221-page case file of the Cleats restraining order against my ex-boyfriend in San Francisco, Mr. Maraschini. That has been in place since 2018. Mr. Woodnick should not have been able to access the file, part of which was confidential, without involving Mr. Maraschini. Mr. Gillespie was aware of the fact that Mr. Maraschini's physical abuse caused me to have brain damage, which resulted in me developing epilepsy at age 27. I am not buying the story that Maraschini caused you brain damage. I think you got a concussion from falling off a horse. Your father even stated that you had concussions. That would be the cause of your epilepsy. Mr. Woodnick knowingly connected the two men I have protective orders against, Mr. Gillespie and Mr. Maraschini, which has left me terrified. If it was confidential, then Woodnick wouldn't have gotten a hold of it. It was public. Because cases are public. It's in the Constitution, Owens. It was not under seal. Maybe certain things were, but not everything. And it was probably part of that stuff was redacted. So, and he's working on a case. He has the right to get that stuff. My now former attorney, Miss Carrie Ramos, was aware of the events of March 4th and their possible involvement since before she filed into the case. I reported Miss Ramos to the Arizona bar on June 13th after she filed a motion to withdraw from the case after I told her that I had a recorded phone call with her where she said that she totally should have filed an amended answer to second motion to dismiss / motion for judgment on the pleadings to correct her error in filing responding to first motion to dismiss filed September 2021 rather than the second motion to dismiss motion for judgment on the pleadings. In addition to the more clear potential violations, there is reason to believe that Ms. Ramos may have colluded with the other side. The Arizona bar has not completed reviewing the mountain of evidence I provided them, but I have been in frequent communication with intake counsel Reed Potter, who told me in our last conversation that he was going to speak to Mr. Woodnick. So these are bar complaints that we know she files. She's filed them against Woodnick. She's filed them against Carrie Ramos. She's filed them against Alexis Linval. she will continue filing them. I'm surprised she hasn't filed one against Corey Keith. But yeah, I'm sure Reed Potter is real sick and tired of her communications. He's doing his job, and he's like, oh my God, this woman. As I have submitted in your prior filings, Mr. Woodnick has acted unethically throughout the case, starting with contacting an attorney in California who he knew to be a long-life family friend, Joe Cotchett, and claimed that he believed him to be representing me in a Title 25 case in effort to embarrass me. That clearly was not what I filed in blank case, and divulged information regarding my pregnancy to Mr. Cotchett. Ma'am, you supposedly gave information and emailed and talked to Joe Cotchett, Uncle Joe, made a post about it. Look, my dad knows Joe Cotchett. Like, here's them at a retirement party, I think, for your dad or something. And you used that to threaten people, and you told him, and he had knowledge, supposedly, of the baby and the pregnancy and how you had been treated. So how did Woodnick divulge this information to Mr. Cotchett? Inquiring minds would like to know. Horrifying, especially since Mr. Gillespie knew that Mr. Cotchett was representing my father in a severance case at the time. Despite Mr. Cotchett writing a one-sentence email back saying that he did not represent me, Mr. Woodnick sent 4 additional emails without a response in a bizarre attempt to frame me for fraud, demanding that Mr. Cotchett spoke to me about dropping the case. Mr. Woodnick even emailed me saying that he was sure that my Uncle Joe, a nickname for Mr. Cotchett, had warned me that Mr. Gillespie would be filing a counter petition for fraudulent ultrasound. If I did not immediately file a motion to dismiss, Mr. Woodnick never received a call from or had a conversation with Mr. Cotchett, so this was pure intimidation to get me to drop the case based on an exchange that never took place. Mr. Cotchett gave me permission for me to share a note with the court that he sent me on September 30th. It is an extraordinary story with Gillespie. I'm glad you are pursuing charges as they blank conduct is outrageous. If we can help in any way, do not hesitate to call. Despite the offer, I have declined help from Mr. Cotchett, as I would never ask a California attorney who is not licensed in Arizona to help me. No, but you're looking to Uncle Joe for advice on this case. He may not be representing you, but he is a family friend of yours that you have shared the story with, or your father has shared the story with. So, like, okay, you didn't obtain him as a lawyer, but that doesn't mean you didn't talk to him about legal matters, because you did. As proven simply in his filings on behalf of Mr. Gillespie, Mr. Woodnick has taken every opportunity to insult my character with cruel personal attacks. In addition, despite not having a scheduling order, Mr. Woodnick has demanded disclosures and answers to interrogatories, which I provided to Ms. Ramos in a 45-page document on March 28th. While I was under the impression that she had submitted these to Mr. Woodnick on April 8th, I am guessing at this point she did not, since he has threatened to file a motion to compel against me if I do not provide them immediately. At this point, if he does not already have them, I do not want to give them any confidential information that would jeopardize my safety. The order of protection has done nothing to keep Mr. Gillespie from stalking and harassing me, and despite Mr. Woodnick being warned that his unethical behavior would be reported, his intimidation has persisted. Their actions have been frightening enough for me to make the decision to leave Arizona permanently. What happened to that? Why didn't you leave Arizona permanently? Are you pulling what you say Michael Maraschini has pulled? He said he was moving to Sacramento or wherever it was, and he didn't. Or he said he was moving way over here, but he's in my neighborhood where his sister lives. You said you were leaving Arizona, but you didn't leave Arizona, or at least not for very long. Also, something that I want you to take notice of is she has used this tactic in the Clayton case as well, where she has lost a lawyer. She says she thought her lawyer sent in this information and filed this stuff, but they didn't, or, and that she doesn't want to go to a deposition or hand over information or talk to anybody from the opposing side because she fears for her safety and doesn't want them to have any information. She wants to withhold that confidential information, without a lawyer, which I don't blame her for wanting to not want to give anything over or say anything while she is not represented. But she has used this tactic before, and she keeps losing lawyers. She goes on to say, despite Ms. Ramos' withdrawal, Mr. Woodnick has made it clear to the court that he does not want to allow an extension for oral hearing scheduled for August 11th, as evidenced in his response. Just like Woodnick made it clear to the court that he did not want to allow for extension on turning in other things that she was supposed to have turned in the Clayton Echard case. Copy and paste stuff here. The attorney I have been speaking to about representing me, Mr. Jason Vendetti, is going to be out of town that day. Both he and Mr. Potter said that regardless, it would be virtually impossible for an attorney to catch up by then and be appropriately prepared to defend a constitutional issue. Well, guess what you need to do? You need to submit a motion yourself and ask for an extension yourself, because Woodnick doesn't have to agree to it. And if you don't file a motion asking for it, the judge doesn't know that you want an extension, other than the fact that you were emailing this stuff, which isn't proper. You have to submit filings. Miss Ramos did not want to tell the court about anything related to the criminal aspects of this case. But now that I am unrepresented and scheduled to represent myself at an oral hearing, I know that I have to. I simply can't explain to Judge Bacchus why her granting the motion to extend is so necessary without explaining what is going on behind the scenes, and other than an email. I didn't know how to get this message to her. I truly apologize if this is not the proper way to inform her, but hope that both she and you understand the degree of panic I feel at the idea of facing Mr. Woodnick unrepresented, and pray that she will take into account my justified safety concerns in her ruling on the motion to extend. So you do have a motion to extend. That's good. The judge can rule on it. You are worried that's not going to be approved. You're worried about it being denied. So you have created this crazy story to try to get more time. And your attorney apparently did not see any reason to include this in the motion to extend. You know what you could have done? Submit the police report. or the FBI or whoever you've talked to, submit that information. Say, I'm having these people investigated. But emailing is not a way to do it. And of course, all the best. And then her lovely advertising of herself. Now we go to August 8th. Owens sends a photo of an ultrasound to Gillespie depicting her alleged pregnancy with his twins. Gillespie runs the ultrasound through a reverse image search and finds the photo posted to a years-old blog. Then, on August 11th, Owen files a $45,000 lawsuit against Gillespie for abortion coercion. According to the court documents, Owen sent him a sonogram she purported to be hers, which Gillespie found online in someone else's blog using reverse Google image search. It is his belief that she was never pregnant. During this time, Owens also filed a bar complaint against her attorney after her attorney withdrew from the case, and that was what we had just talked about, Attorney Ramos, that she did that with. And then on August 12th, Greg Gillespie files for an order of protection against Owens. He alleged that Owens attempted to get him fired from his job in retaliation for breaking up with her. So Gillespie wants an order of protection now from Owens because she's being cray-cray and accusing him of crazy stuff. So here is the civil complaint that was filed on August 11th, 2021, in Superior Court of Maricopa County, Owens v. Gillespie. This claim arises from a tort. Venue in this precinct is proper because the defendant resides or does business in this precinct. 3. The defendant owes the sum of $45,000. The defendant owes the plaintiff this amount because state the facts in support of your claim. You may attach additional pages to your complaint if necessary. And it says the plaintiff became pregnant with defendant's child on either June 30th, 2021, after only 2 dates. Plaintiff became pregnant on second date with defendant on or around those dates. Plaintiff informed defendant of the pregnancy and he denied it, after which he forced plaintiff to have multiple pregnancy tests and a doctor's appointment. 6. Once defendant finally learned the pregnancy was real, defendant employed false promises and verbal and emotional abuse to coerce plaintiff into getting an abortion. 7. Upon plaintiff's first attempt to terminate the pregnant, the defendant blocked plaintiff from all communications. 8. When plaintiff informed defendant of her failed attempt at termination, defendant again employed false promises and verbal and emotional abuse to coerce plaintiff again. 9. During this time, plaintiff clearly expressed her desire to not terminate the pregnancy. See attachment for more. So, this is why she needed Eckerd to file the complaint, because Gillespie was like, great, you had the abortion, bye. And Owens was like, ugh. Well, now I've got to tell him that it didn't work because he lied to me. He blocked me and he's not going to be in a relationship with me. So I have to make these babies reappear again so that he'll talk to me and be with me again. Then it goes over ARS 133601. 3. The victim or the defendant is pregnant by the other party. And 6. The relationship between the victim and the defendant is currently or was previously a romantic or sexual relationship. Those are the exact things that make it okay for Owens to file the DV stuff, is because of those rules right there. L, if a person is convicted of an offense involving domestic violence and the victim was pregnant at the time of the commission of the offense at the time of the sentencing, the court shall take into consideration the fact that the victim was pregnant and may increase the sentence. ARS 362153G. A person shall not intimidate or coerce in any way any person to obtain an abortion. Intentional tort. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. This person's conduct or actions were extreme and outrageous. This person's intended to inflict distress on the person recklessly disregarded that their conduct was result in the victim's emotional distress, and the person's conduct resulted in the victim's severe emotional distress. I don't think that this is outrageous conduct. She asked if he wanted abortion. She's the one that seems to always bring up the abortion. I'll get an abortion if, I'll get rid of the babies if, but, there's always a string attached to it. And then the guy gives their, feelings about it and stuff. And they say, yeah, I want you to get an abortion. And then she's like, oh my God, you're distressing me. I don't think, now maybe the part where he promised he would be with her and then he decided not to be, maybe that, but I just don't see that as fully coercing somebody into doing it. It would be different if, he tricked her into getting an abortion and was like, hey, we're going to go get a nose job or a butt lift, and then really what she got was an abortion. Like, that to me is coercion. This may be, that may be on the extreme side and this is not, but I don't fully see it as coercion. But I also don't necessarily believe everybody's words, so I second guess everything. But she goes on to say that plaintiff is also claiming for attorney's fees and court costs, and then she states under penalty of perjury that the foregoing is true and correct on August 10th, 2021, and it has her name on it. Then it has plaintiff's attorney information, and then it has Gillespie, and the following pages are copies of irrelevant notes and text messages from July and August of 2021 between the plaintiff, Owens, and the defendant, Gillespie. And it has the one medical note. We have the other procedure performed at one medical, and then we have text messages. Says, we need to get our lives back and healthy, and then we can get to know our true selves. This is damaging both of us severely with every hour that continues to pass. I know that I like you very much. When this wasn't on our minds and over our heads, I know that it is damaging each of us. I want this to be over with. Do you? Can we take care of it this week and try for this weekend? The timing is perfect. I don't want to go into the next week with this on our minds any longer. It should be almost healthy. This will be beyond us. Hopefully have a nice weekend going into the week, and we can get back to being ourselves. That's a big circle of nothing. I promise this to you. I will support you after this. I will grow with you, get to know our real selves, and we can begin our relationship in the tight foot. Probably supposed to say the right foot. I need the same from you to see that you support what I'm trying to do here also. Get back to healthy. And it says something for Sedona on Sunday night. Yes. Yes to what? Can't talk right now. I said yes to your last message. Also, are you coming over later? I would rather take the pills tonight so that you can take 24 hours later and be better before we go to Sedona on Sunday. We shouldn't prolong that. You can come over to my house. I'm feeling good. No coughing today. Okay. So Gillespie is going to be the gray, and Owens is the blue. Says, yes, I'm coming over. I don't want to be sick in the morning for the trial. I would definitely be fine by Sunday if I did that. It made me very nauseous last time, but I have anti-nausea medicine. I think that will be fine to take them. This is the part where it confuses the heck out of me that she has these pills that supposedly in the Maraschini case she had a severe allergic reaction to. But yet she has sought out these pills again. What in the hell? Who is seeking out things they are allergic to? If it was a severe allergic reaction. I mean, this isn't like you eat a strawberry and maybe you have like a little bit of an itch that you can take a little bit of Benadryl for or something. Like, it's not that. Like, why are you seeking out things you're allergic to? It's a foundation for something more meaningful, I'm guessing. It says, will you take the pills tonight? I don't want to have a baby this way. That would mean you can take the others tomorrow and Friday, and by the weekend, I will hopefully be 100%. This will be past us, and we can plan to go to Sedona maybe Sunday. I have PTO also. If you can get off work, we could go Sunday, Monday, ? I need to relax after all this. I know you do also. And I can't with everything going on. This should have been completed this time last week. Neither of us had handled it well. I'm sorry I got upset. I'm sorry I blocked you. I'm sorry I am sick and I can't be myself at the moment. I promised you we would continue to see one another, assuming you want to, grow with each other, use this as a reason to be stronger and build a foundation. We moved way too fast. I said this then and I say it now. We need to get to know one another and not on this stressor. Neither one of us had been ourselves, and there's no chance we will be until this is beyond us. I want to get to know you, not this version that no normal couple would ever have to face. We haven't handled it well until now, and we won't until this is behind us. We are human. We have feelings, and this has stressed us to the max. I want to do everything I can to move past, heal, get to know one another under normal circumstances. We wanted to take care of this weeks ago and not another. It says text messages from Gillespie expressing his desire to have a relationship after Owens would have an abortion from the week of August 4th, 2021. So we have more messages, and says, I had made my decision and have been totally prepared to do exactly what we discussed today. Says, I will not relive one moment of this. Is that clear? I will not discuss this one more minute. If you bring it up and show hesitation, I'm calling the cops or not, your choice. I'm not hesitating. You've been dragging this out for 20 days, wasting our time. You've called me a bitch and a liar, etc. And I'm saying I'll keep my promise. Aren't we doing an abortion? Or are you that greedy? Woman, you are. I'm so confused. I have not a effing day in the matter. I have not an effing day in the matter. If I don't get a say, then you don't get money from me. I'm confused too. You are holding me hostage over a bastard child. You do get a say. No, really, he doesn't. Like, whatever Owens decides to do, she decides to do. She can either agree with Greg and get the abortion, or she can do whatever she wants. She's the one who has the baby in her body, so she is the one that is going to make the decision. He says, it's pathetic. Yeah, I said, in the life of an unwanted, not created out of love child who doesn't have a heartbeat, which you can still have. And let us live our Kong loves, which right now you are ruining. Yep. Okay, so it says, yep, that really doesn't seem right to do. Gillespie says, pretty effing clear, neither is this. Take the effing pills, Laura, and stop threatening me and lying. I think you're the one that's threatening here, not me. Great, you could block me, your choice not to. I thought you wanted an abortion. I don't get it. Haven't threatened you with one thing. And then it says, and don't have to commit mortal sin. Aren't we doing an abortion? Are you? Okay, so that's the same thing that she put over here. Like, it's just repeat. Owen says, did you see what the church says about abortion? Ma'am, you are not worried about what the church says. Because the church also says do not have sex before marriage. And you didn't care about that. But Greg says, yeah, I'm serious. I don't give an F. I would keep my promise to you. Church is a belief, one belief. You already lied to put me on many fronts. I will never believe you. Then why do you still care about a bastard child? I have changed my mind because I have felt tortured on this. No, you just haven't gotten your way, so you're throwing a little tantrum. Because you're used to getting everything you want when you throw a tantrum and act out like this. Gillespie says, until you effing prove it with actions, you are all talk, immature child. I would take them for you. Wow, I was going to do that. I am ready to do that. No, 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 you wouldn't. He says, you wanted to make me a dad and put me on the hook for an unwanted retarded bastard. I don't like that language. I get he's mad. But, like, maybe leave out the retarded part. I don't deserve this. Trying to be a woman, having an unplanned pregnancy at 31, and you feel the guilt. You went through this supposedly way back when with Maraschini. And apparently even further back with another guy. And you feel guilt. You're using abortions as birth control. And to have relationships. Stop it. Like, I hate the guilt trip when you've apparently done this so many times. And you want to guilt trip each and every single one. Like, it's just bullshit. And you have these conversations all the time. I'm gonna get an abortion. Well, now I don't want to. Oh, I'm gonna do... Like, just stop. Either do it or don't. Shut up about it. Like, my God. This woman has too much effing time on her hands. Says, no, I do like you and want you. I want to have the abortion and keep my promise. No, you don't. This could be so easy. Yes, I do. Then prove it and stop putting me through this. I had made my decision and have been totally prepared to do exactly what we discussed today. Except for you've been saying this for 20 damn days. So how does he believe you? You keep going back and forth and just talking about it because someone says something rude to you. Because they're tired of you playing games. So yeah, they've lost their patience. And they're being rude. This one is an image that says, back to the matter at hand. Are you going to take care of this? I've already agreed to what you've asked for. I need the same respect in return. If I am giving the kid up for no reason in my mind other than I am being selfish, I have high expectations for us as a couple to make this right someday. Don't think I'm crazy for that. I think you're crazy that you would want to be in a relationship with somebody who has done whatever you're accusing him of doing. If he really did this, like coerced you into an abortion and was mean to you, why do you want to be with him? After all the things he said, he's not being nice to you. I mean, he doesn't want to be nice to you. Why would you still want to be with somebody that treated you like garbage? I mean, he's saying this because he's tired of your games, and we know because she's done this with every single guy that we've seen. So don't fault Greg for those things. Some of the things he probably shouldn't have said. But also, if a guy is saying this stuff to you, why would you want to still be with them? You can't say it's because I love them. Because then maybe, but you haven't known him that long. Like, this isn't a marriage that has been around for, and you've been with this person for 5 years, and then all of a sudden this happens. This is a guy that you haven't known for very long. So why would you want to be with somebody like that? I'm sorry I didn't enter into a relationship lightly. I actually do like you and care about you. Yes, I have been level 100 needy and annoying this week. But besides that, I thought we were heading towards something. Nobody wants to be with a needy person that is annoying 100% of the time. Once I made up my mind, I promise you I will not look back, so please don't get upset with me for questions. It's been 20 days of questions. He has the right to be upset. You can't tell him how to feel. Just like he can't tell you how to feel. It says to make up your mind and don't look back. Be an adult, stop in circles and stop making our hearts beat out of our chest. I don't know what that means. I mean, she even has this labeled Greg abortion conversation. Like, tell me she wasn't plotting this. I'm just saying you are acting obsessed with me taking the pills and not with me as a person. You're acting like a crazy person. I wouldn't be obsessed with you as a person either. Don't have me come over and pretend to like me or want something with me if you don't feel it. That would make it way harder on me. Okay, so you're not coming over? He says I wasn't. And I asked you to come over. You didn't have to be alone when doing it because you asked that. So what's changed? She says, I'm coming over. She goes, I'm not being manipulative. You are out. No abortion. You are in abortion. I'm asking for guidance. Though I want to get to know you, does not mean that I already do. I don't want to fight with you. I have said the same thing all along. We will date and be together. I have not changed my mind. You blocked me the second you found out I took the pills. I was updating you on what was going on, checking on how you were doing, etc., and you had no interest in me, and everything was something. And then it says, the hook for an... Oh, okay. Okay, we've already read that one. It's just in a different format. I will not relive another moment of this. This is the going in circles, point frankly pissed that another day has gone by where the majority of the time was spent going in circles. Yes, this stuff, going in circles, drives people crazy. It's driving me nuts reading it. Said you could be taking the pills, starting the process, none of which you're offering to do. I'm not at all. I will do them with you tonight. I am happy to do any time. No, you haven't, Owens, because you've had 20 days to do this. Says it shows clearly that you don't want to, so keep the effing child and enjoy single parent life with a beastard. What the F? Reread it. It's pretty clear. And then she puts in again the thing about the unwanted artard beastard, try being a woman having an unplanned pregnancy at 31 and feeling the guilt. That line you've used on every single one of your victims. It says, take the pills and maybe tomorrow we can do it instead. I am way too worked up and upset and embarrassed and stressed and tired. How would that be a good situation for you or I? You're fine. This is very stressful. I get it. How would what be? I still want exactly what you wrote this morning. I don't believe you do. Nothing has changed. We've both been crazy. If you did, you would just take care of your part so we can move forward. Quit talking about it. Either do it or don't do it. Just leave him alone. Another one says, when this is over, I don't want to fight with you about this, but I made my decision to stop our baby's life isn't half in, half out, and therefore you shouldn't be that way with me. Gillespie says, what does that mean? I am not up to explore things for a short amount of time and then regret making this decision for the rest of my life. Stop saying our baby. We are not having a child under these pretenses. It's yours just as much as it is mine. I want nothing to do with this. I don't want to fight with you. Who is fighting? This is fighting. I'm telling you, I want nothing to do with this. With this child? ? I will see you. I want nothing to do with this child. I am dead serious about the novel I sent about number 2. If we end this debate now, I want to, in a serious relationship, heading towards having a baby in the right way and redoing this. Okay, fine, do it. We will do it the right way. And then it says, you've been very clear with me that you don't want something. It's cut off. Owens says, I have offered to take the pills. Gillespie, and maybe he said what I need. You claim to want to help, and yet here we are. I said what would help. Nothing else would help right now. That's the only thing on my mind. That's the one thing that has led us here. Owens, I will do that because I care about you and I have been crazy too. You think? And I have stated clearly that I want and could help, which I will do. No, I don't think you like me, especially now. Why would you? See, even Gillespie is like, why would you like me? After all this stuff I've said to you, woman, why would you even want anything to do with me? Like, he's trying to push her away. Like, he is purposely being mean to her. He's also fed up with her BS. But, like, why would you still like somebody after this? Like, he thinks that's crazy. Like, she's acting crazy, and the idea that she still wants to be with him is crazy as well. And then it goes to the, I'm worked up and emotional, like stress. I can't read this next one really. Talks about again, you blocked me, and all that, but I can't really read. I think it's something she's already said, please unblock me or blah, blah, blah. So it's probably one we've seen before as well. It says, no, I won't. I've been crazy too. It's a stressful situation. I don't hate you at all. I would take the pills if I did. I wouldn't take the pills if I did. I still want you if you want me. I already had booked Sedona, LOL. Did you take them? I'm feeding the horses, but I'm going to go in and take them. But first, absolutely, keeping my promises. Are you keeping yours? Can't read the bottom. Another pick as you are. So you go back and forth and you change your mind way more than anyone I know. And your word. I haven't changed mine once. And you're asking me about trust? Interesting. Good to know. So many false narratives. It's very peculiar. And that's where she's like, you blocked me everywhere, Greg. You had no intention of ever speaking to me again. As I said over and over, I don't get blank. You would choose. I don't get why you would choose to block me everywhere after you know I took the pills and not believe. You had no concern for how I was feeling or anything. You lied about taking the pills. I don't believe you even took one and that it didn't work. I believe you said you took them to see what his reaction was. You didn't like it. And so this is how you respond. Because if he would have acted appropriately, then you might have decided, okay, I am going to take the pills for real because of this. So you tricked him into thinking that you had done it. So to me, there's coercion going both ways here. But Gillespie is the one that ends up with the lawsuit for abortion coercion. This one is 8/3/2021 at 3:13 p.m. I think if you're going to be gone either way, I should proceed with it. I have tried every way to figure out how to trust that you would be there, and I can't, even though I wish more than anything that I could. Gillespie says, hey, I'm not ignoring you. I've been working all day. I have a team dinner tonight that I'm going to. Doctor says I'm not contagious now, and I have not had a fever, but I'm very fatigued. Just working at home all day. Well, if you're not contagious, we can see each other. That's great. We can do that before I say for sure that I'm keeping it. But right now, I am really would like an answer to the trust question. Keeping what? The baby? You are? So you go back and forth and change your mind more than anyone I know. He already said this. Says, I'm working right now. Dinner at 7. Also, I'm not contributing to any child you have as well. Aren't having a baby unless it's the right way. This is not that. You also are the breadwinner. In fact, I believe you would owe me child support if I decided I wanted half custody. So you need to reconsider your wants and needs here. I want to start a relationship on the right foot, and this is not it. Having a beastered child, you already made the decision and promise. You also did not want me involved if you decided not to follow through, which you have. Now, I don't think that Gillespie knows that, she is crazy enough to go file lawsuits. She's going to file, for child custody and child support and all that. She plays the games and everything. So I don't think him saying, I'm not going to contribute anything, I'm not going to pay you anything, I'm not going to be involved in this kid's life. I think he knows that she would go to a judge and the judge would say, you don't have to be involved in the child's life, but guess again on you are paying child support. So I don't think he's saying this thinking that this is really what is happening. I think so, but I don't know. Because guys say things all the time when they're mad, but Guys, don't say this to anybody that ends up pregnant with your child, because guess what? The court is going to make you contribute. They will take it out of your paychecks. So unless you have somebody who's like, whatever, I don't want your money, I don't care, you don't have to be involved, none of it, like, you're a lowlife. But a woman like this is not a woman who's just going to let you off the hook. This woman is going to make you pay, because she's already making you pay right here. So just don't say that to anybody, even if you're thinking it, that you don't want to have anything to do with the kid. You should. And maybe don't have it be through the mother. There are other ways to be involved in your kid's life and not fully deal with the mother. You could deal with somebody else. The courts can help you with that, because it's okay not to deal with crazy people. More text saying, you have driven me nuts with the circles and harassing. You are a terrible person. Owens, oh my God, are you serious? Gillespie says, you can enjoy the beaster child and all your money in your own. And then she goes into the, did you see what the church says? I've changed my mind because I felt tortured on this. Until you prove your actions, you are all talk and immature child. Okay, that one's already been put in. So she's just putting in duplicates of so many things. This says, I'm ready to do that. No, you wouldn't. Yes, I would. It says, I can't speak another word about this. I need to work. I need to get back to my life. I need my life back, and you won't let me. We can have the future after this. Something tonight. And then can't read. Something, promise a guy, blah, blah, blah. Can't read it. Again, the I'm ready to do that. Can't speak it. Like, more duplicates. You're the one changing your mind. Gillespie says, stop effing saying it and do it. I can't take this. You have pushed me. I can be over by 8 and do it. WTF is wrong. That's what's wrong. I'm keeping my cool here. You telling me I'm responsible for a beastered child. You. I don't think you'd be proud of these texts another day. Yeah. First time, you only are because I'm not. Now you know the it fills. Thanks for nothing the last 20 days other than sickness and stress. I have felt the same way going through this. Wish the roles had been reversed. Gillespie, you should have taken care of the effing moment you found out and never told me. Selfish. I don't know about that one, but yeah, 20 days of this BS. It probably is wearing him down. It's probably what caused him to get sick, because he's not getting sleep and he's so stressed out. That weakens your immune system. This woman is causing people to physically become ill. Owen says, and move on. You don't need a dime and you know it. So leave me out of your decision to keep a beastard. I don't want to keep it. If you want to keep it, then be an adult and take in the responsibility yourself. The government does not think that way about child support, but that's stupid anyways. Oh? I want to keep my promise to who you were this morning. That's all I want. What about the $1 million you have versus my debt? How will they view that? I don't have millions. No, it's a promise you made weeks ago, yet retracted many times. And my money is separate from my parents. I don't get a cent from my dad. But you're the owner of a company with them. It's a family business. Every business you have is attached to your family, Owens. Like, really? I don't think it's on your money. I think they have the majority. Like, and here she states that she's going to go after him for child support because the government doesn't look at it this way. She's going to take him to court. So it's not good to say all these things. Sorry if you hear giggly girls. Apparently the walls are very, very thin. And everybody wants to make noise when I decide to record. But that is the life of a mother, right? Text messages from Mr. Gillespie coercing Miss Owens into an abortion. First image says, "Back to the matter at hand. Are you going to take care of this? I've already agreed to what you've asked for. I need the same respect in return." Owens says, "If I am giving this kid up for no reason in my mind other than that I am being selfish, I have higher expectations," which she already put this in, 100% needy and annoying. Once I make my mind up, then make your mind up and don't look back. Stop going in circles and blah, blah, blah. She's already put this in here. So then the next image is, "I'm hoping I can trust that if it happened under our circumstances, it can happen if we are doing it the right way. Do not tell me you want a relationship with me unless you are sure here. And don't tell me you want me because you feel pressured. Or ever hold it over my head that you were only with me because you wanted me to get an abortion. Because that's not fair to either one of us. Go out with hot girls, find someone else great. I don't think we're strangers considering we felt enough chemistry to have sex. Then that's something neither of us do. I felt that best friend lover vibe with you and need to know if you feel that for me. If you were basing this on everything up until blank. On the second date, you felt the best friend lover vibe? Really? You have emotional attachments. You have an attachment disorder or something. I don't know what it is. But a best friend lover vibe after a second date is crazy. Like, you're still strangers whether you had sex or not. That one night stands are strangers having sex with each other. Like, so the whole, just because we had sex, we're not strangers. Yes, you still are. Yes, you still are. I don't even know what she's yapping about here. This image now and knew I was definitely not going to go through with the pregnancy. Would I be the girl you would want to be in a relationship with and be crazy about, or would you still want to look around? Please, please, please be honest, and then we'll give you an answer in my next message. I just want to know without any expectation from me, or I will always wonder if you resent me. If you have a baby and you have threatened him with this, yes, he's going to resent you. I don't care what he says. He's going to resent you. Because you have been horrible. He's been horrible too. But it's like, there's no reason to have all these millions and millions of texts. Because it's either do it or don't. Like, stop bothering people with it. Like, make up your mind. Stop getting if you're not getting what you need from a guy, you probably shouldn't be having a baby from him. Like, it's just mind-boggling. Like, it's just lunacy. I'm going to answer your question in the morning. I need to gather my thoughts. It sounds like you have it. I do. The short answer is yes. But since you won't allow me to gather myself, to express myself, the answer is yes. Thoughts? Oh, gather my thoughts. Okay. I was trying to make a decision today, like you wanted, but please gather your thoughts. Says, yeah, I told you that my sister is the only family I have, so her wedding is really important. Don't you have a mom and a dad? That's all you have is a sister and a mom and a dad? Says, I was thinking I was going to have to tell her that I wasn't going to have you as a date after I already told her and she was making a place card under your name. Would have been really embarrassing to explain that you had ghosted me. If you are into it for the long haul, I would think you would want to go. I believe you. Don't bail on me after I do this and then on the wedding, because that would be awful. Gillespie says, clearly, why do you feel the need to say something like this? Like she's guilt tripping him about a wedding. Now, you said you would go with me. Maybe he said that before he knew you were crazy. Like, geez Louise. She had her made a place card, and that's going to be embarrassing to tell my family. That you're cray-cray? They already know that. They already know you're cray-cray and you don't have great relationships. But they enabled that. More, I'm not being manipulative. You are out, no abortion. Okay, we've already read that one again. Like, how many duplicates does this have? And I don't have them crossed out of here because they're all attachments on pages. Says, I just let you know what I want to do. You are questioning again. I just said everything I can say, and I've shared my feelings. I am asking you how I can trust you. You don't want the kid any more than you want to be with a stranger. You already proven you would leave, so why wouldn't you this time? This whole thing is really up to you. You didn't do what you promised before. I want to believe you. I was excited to be with you, and I still want to be. I really felt like you were being extremely selfish and not like you understood what I was doing for a gut feeling I had for you. And it says, because I'm trusting you? And you promised me you would do this, yet you've taken your word back. And I am here and have not taken my word back. He just blocked her. That's it. But yeah, you stand strong about her not having this baby. You have not taken your word back on that. Just the please get out of my life part. And then she says, I'm not taking my word back. You took back by blocking me and not giving a shit about how I was feeling, emotionally and physically. Something, an apology. Can't read the rest. Like you said, you are something. Can't read the rest of these. Good Lord, this would be much shorter if she didn't have all this repetitiveness. I wonder if the person that looked at this was like, did he say this multiple times to you? Or if they were like, this is a repeat. This is a repeat. Or if they think that all those were him saying this stuff repeatedly to her. The exact same conversation over and over again. I would like to know. Gillespie says, I said I'm not raising a baby with you. You asked and I responded. Option 2. Why are we going in circles? I gave you my answer. It has not changed and will not change. Owens says, Option 1 did not include you having to lift a finger for it. I didn't mention you raising a baby with me in either. I felt I wrote more of what my expectations were in 2 there, and for me, that isn't going in circles. says, I don't want a bastard child. I'm sorry if this is the biggest decision of our lives and I want clarity. It is, and I made it. You are pushing me away, acting this way. You're going in circles. Something your situation. So, more questions, more requests. I made a decision. You wanted to know. I let you know. That is the decision. Says something already pushing. Trust doesn't. Something confident about our future. I'm trying to get the information and something I need to make the call to do, and it's indifferent than what you need. Okay. So I can't really read much of that. Okay. It says, I did want you to be. So rather than sit here and text me nonstop all day long about threats, I wanted you. That's still what I want, but if you're out either way, I'll do the right thing. You should consider the seriousness of what you're doing. Keeping a child in a home with one parent, a bastard child, that isn't wanted. Plus, you're giving me an ultimatum. The right thing? Owen says, morally not for me. Keeping a child that you have admitted to wanting to abort. I want nothing to do with that. Yeah, how is that baby going to feel knowing that his mother was willing to just throw him away for some hanky-panky and a relationship where a guy is awful to her? For good reason, but he's still being awful to her. Like, I'm sure that child is going to love that. Oh, I love you. You're whatever. Yeah, but you were going to get rid of me just to be with Dad? Just so you could continue being with Dad? Even though he treated you badly, you were willing to just get rid of me. And she'd be like, but I didn't get rid of you because I really wanted you. Who cares what your father wanted? It's a horrible soap opera. Said I wanted to abort it to be with you. Yeah, she's just willing to throw it away. I'm sure this imaginary child, would have loved that. That the baby was not as important as some hanky-panky. I have shared and shared and shared that I want to date you, not this version of us. So take care of it and let's move forward. I'm not going to be made to convince someone of anything. Either you accept this or you don't, so let me know. As he said, you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. Like, why do we keep having to have these conversations? And it's because she wants to go in a circle because she wants to entrap him so she can file something on him. She wants to coerce him and then use it against them. Says, I don't want a child on my own. It probably sounds crazy considering only 4 dates together, but I can see us having a kid in a few years. I felt something so special with you. Okay, then you have your answer. Can we move forward? But I'm afraid that saying that pushed you something last time made you ghost me. I want to ease distress and move forward for both of our sakes. Greg, if you don't feel that way, don't ask me to do this. Says, I just let you something. Want to do something. It says, because you asked, so what's changing? I'm coming over. I'm saying you don't exactly seem like you're looking forward to seeing me. I told you when was best for me to take them, and you're empathetic about them, about taking them with you and them then not even spending the night together until Sunday. And I'm doing them. I told you that. You acted like I hadn't given you an out while saying I would still do the abortion. Here's your out. Don't be with me out of pity. Yeah, but if, like, he doesn't want to be with you. He doesn't. But you're, like, not giving him a choice. Like, you're going to be with me, or you're not going to be with me, but you're still going to be attached to me. So you're still going to be with me in a way, because we're going to have a child. So either way, he can't get rid of you. And that's what you want. It's a sick little game. More, and she didn't even put these in order. If she would have done these in order of the 177, like, she would have avoided duplication. Because my gut is telling me this is all about taking the pills and nothing about wanting me right now. Greg says, so you're not taking them. I'm obviously still doing it, but I am suspicious of your intentions for the future. Of course I am. I promised you. Obviously? How is that obvious? Because I promised you to take them. You've said that before, and you threatened to not. Exactly. It's not obvious. And just because you promised that you were going to do something, it doesn't always mean that you're going to. Because you have to make sure that whatever you're doing benefits you. If you're not getting anything out of it, you're not doing it. Says, I'm just saying you are acting obsessed with me taking the pills and not with me as a person. Like, good God, put this in order, woman. I have to be at my appointment at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow, which is 45 minutes away. I will be working and taking care of everything that has built up at the house. I've been MIA basically with that virus. If I am taking off Monday, I have to get a lot done. And I've already said why the sense of urgency, we need to handle this. And if I don't get it handled, and it didn't get handled last week, I am not going to something incest. Let's first working. You don't. It's blurry. It says, and has been and will continue to be, and it's gone on for too long. I'm taking the pills tonight. I told you. Stop acting like I'm not. I'm exhausted and stressed, and I haven't taken care of anything except worry about this. Then do something about it. It is in your control, and you have allowed this to go on, to become unhealthy, to cause arrest and anxiety on both of us. I told you what I'm doing. How many times have we heard her say, I'm taking them tonight, I'm taking them tomorrow, I'm taking them when I'm coming over, I'm taking them, I'm taking them, I'm taking them. But she still has not taken anything. Ugh. I'm sorry, this video is enraging. Okay, we are, I think, down to the last text message. Thank the Lord. It says, and only ask me to do this if you want me, and not just an abortion. I was mad yesterday and impulsive. I wouldn't ask you for child support. So just make sure that I am what you want and you're not just pitying me, and I will do it. Gillespie. I have vocalized this to you. So this is text messages from Owens expressing her expectations for the relationship if she were to have an abortion, and his responses. Oh my God. Like, How? This man couldn't have gotten anything done. Like, at all. I'm surprised he didn't get fired just because he had to deal with her. Probably because he was sick. And she would just make him more sick. But how do you coerce somebody when he states in there, it is in your control? You know, do it or don't do it. So, I think he said that. That might have been her. I don't know. There was so much bullshit that I just read. And guess what? Nothing got accomplished in all of that. Nothing. Nothing was resolved. It was the same BS after the same BS. So exhausting. And then it's got this attorney page again. Here we have statements of facts and breach continued. I don't know why we don't have 1 through 10, but we don't. I either missed it or it didn't give it to me. So we'll start at 11. At least saves us some time. 11. Defendant was steadfast in the viewpoint that the pregnancy be terminated immediately because he did not want to have a bastard child and said he would have no involvement in its life nor pay child support. 12. Plaintiff did not wish to give up the pregnancy from a spiritual or moral standpoint and planned to proceed with it even if she was doing it alone. No, she wasn't. She wasn't doing it from a spiritual or moral standpoint. She wanted to do it for a relationship. Like, her spiritual and moral standpoints are not very high. I mean, she has unprotected sex, but yet we're going to listen to the church on the other thing. Okay. Defendant's false promises included comments regarding a great opportunity for them to work towards eventually marriage and to have a child the right way in the future. I don't think I saw a text on marriage, but we did see text about the right way. 14. Plaintiff indicated to defendant that she did not expect him to be involved in the rearing and support of this child and did not need to speak with her again if that is what he desired. Defendant refused and instead indicated that he wanted a relationship, but he refused to see her or contribute to the relationship until plaintiff had terminated the pregnancy. 16. Despite Arizona's 5-week pregnancy limit in order to terminate a pregnancy, defendant found this unacceptable and coerced plaintiff into obtaining abortion pills from using an unorthodox method. I saw nothing about that. I saw her say, I have the pills. There was nothing in there about her getting these unorthodox pills and all that. If she waited, it's because she waited. That has nothing to do with him. She chose this unorthodox method. 17. Although plaintiff was reluctant to administer the pills because she felt that was financially and emotionally and physically able to create an environment where a child would thrive. No, she's not. She's cray-cray and she needs help. There's no place for a child. Defendant was insistent that she proceed immediately so that they could move on with their futures. She kept pushing him. I'll do it now. I'll do it today so we can move on. But today never came. On July 28, 2021, at around 10 p.m., plaintiff administered the first pill while over the phone with the defendant. So she says. During that conversation, plaintiff reiterated that she did not expect him to participate in the child rearing and support if she were to make the decision to continue her pregnancy. Defendant pleaded with her and said she needed to believe him. On July 29, 2021, plaintiff administered the second pill incorrectly. How do you administer a pill incorrectly? Because she waited too many days? She didn't take them back to back like she should have? says 22, after receiving instructions on how to properly administer the second pill, plaintiff's attempt to contact defendant to administer the second pill over the phone with him, but he was unreachable. 23, once plaintiff finally reached defendant on the 31st, defendant scolded her for waiting to administer the second pill. Yeah, I'd be mad too. Because you've waited too many days. And wait, after you got instructions on how to administer the second pill, do you not administer the pills all in one way? I don't feel like they're like, okay, the first pill you take by mouth. Then the next pill you stick up your booty. Then the third pill, you're going to stick this one right up there in the vajayjay. Because we are getting this at all angles. Every orifice, we want a pill to be administered. I don't think that's how this happened. Like, why is the second pill not the same as the first pill and how you take it? Like, that just seems bizarre. But okay. I mean, they did say this was unorthodox, though, right? So maybe it was the abortion thing in all orifices to attach at every angle. 24. On July 31st, 2021, plaintiff correctly administered the second pill after defendant's persistent insistence that it must be done. However, the termination did not pass as it should. On August 1st, 2021, plaintiff discovered from her doctor that it was a failed abortion and that the development of the fetus may not have stopped, but it was uncertain. So she found out from the doctor on August 1st, but we saw messages from August 3rd about all this stuff that she was talking about. So that doesn't make sense to me. After attempting to contact defendant during this time, plaintiff discovered that defendant had blocked her from all forms of traditional communication. Upon discovery of the failed abortion, defendant panicked and attempted to persuade plaintiff not only that he had blocked her from communication, but also that he wanted to stay with her if she followed through with termination. 28. At this point, plaintiff indicated that she would let God decide what happened to the fetus at the point, regardless of whether she ended up passing it or not. I didn't see anything about that. While also promising that he would attend a wedding with the plaintiff, wanted to start a family with her, and wanted to introduce the plaintiff's father, who is suffering from medical issues, once the pregnancy was terminated. Defendant also indicated that the plaintiff needed to stop playing games with him and that if she wanted a relationship with him, she needed to follow through with the termination. Well, she was playing games with him. I think she needs to prove herself too. Like, it's not just a one-way. 31. Plaintiff explained the decision to end a human's life was much more serious than any decision she had made before, and that she would have to live with the consequences of this for the rest of her life. Just like she did with Maraschini. Like, this is the hardest decision she had to make. The Maraschini one wasn't the hardest decision. I bet you failed to mention that you had had this before. This was the first time you ever dealt with this, right? On August 4th, in text messages sent between the plaintiff and the defendant indicated that he wanted to continue the relationship if we take care of it this week and try for this weekend. And he promises to support her. After this, they can begin their relationship in exchange for terminating the pregnancy. See exhibit number here. Okay, so even after this thing, she is still talking about she can do something about it, but the abortion already failed. So how does that make any sense? The abortion failed, but we're going to still have a relationship, or we're still going to have discussions about terminating it later. Like, what? That's a game. Like, she already knew it failed, so why Why? The need for all that conversation. And he promises to support her after this, and they can begin their relationship in exchange for terminating the pregnancies. Okay. Relying on these representations, plaintiff was convinced that defendant's intentions were pure. When the time came for plaintiff to administer her termination pills, she hesitated and contacted defendant. But I thought she already took the... Oh my God. This doesn't make any sense to me. I cannot follow this. Is this another time that she was retrying the abortion because the first abortion didn't work, so she's trying to abort it again? Like, what? Because number 24 says July 31st, plaintiff correctly administered the second pill. Then it says August 1st, plaintiff discovered from her doctor that it was a failed abortion. And then we're going to now, on August 5th, plaintiff went to defendant's house where she anticipated he would be there to support her in an emotionally distraught condition due to taking the termination pills the previous day. So she took a pill on August 4th. Oh, is this a different termination pill? If somebody knows, please answer. Because already, none of this makes sense. This timeline makes zero sense to me. And it sounds like a lot of wasted time in Gillespie if there was already a failed abortion. And then she's continuing this BS on into August. Defendant used verbal and emotionally abusive manipulations, even threatening to call the police if she hesitated in terminating the pregnancy. See exhibit number here. 37. Instead, defendant's behavior was extremely cold and bizarre. He was telling plaintiff that she was toying with him and that he could not relax in the relationship until the abortion was done. He further questioned and criticized every action the plaintiff made that night, including making the plaintiff show defendant that she was properly administering the second pill by showing the inside of her cheek to defendant because he did not believe she was taking the pill. So she took the second pill incorrectly. That is taken by mouth, which I assume the first one was taken by mouth. How do you incorrectly take an oral medication improper? Like, make this make sense. Somebody, please make this make sense. Defendant's actions were clear that he cared more about making sure the abortion was done than he did about wanting a future with the plaintiff. Defendant acted disgusting and disrespectful and refused to provide any verbal, emotional, or physical comfort to the plaintiff during this traumatic process until he was convinced that the pregnancy was terminated, causing plaintiff to leave his house at 1 a.m. Well, he told her she couldn't spend the night. By that point, plaintiff had already administered the second pill in defendant's presence. So there's another second pill. There's a second pill from August 5th or August 4th, and there's a second pill from July 31st as well. What? On August 6th, plaintiff again discovered that the defendant had blocked her from all forms of communication. Okay, so he blocked her again, a second time. Okay. So he repeated this stuff? Plaintiff is physically and emotionally and psychologically distraught to have to go through the tedious and traumatic process of terminating pregnancy for the sake of a relationship with the defendant, whom had no intention of having one but used in false promises and abuse to manipulate plaintiff into believing he did. 43. Defendant continued to call plaintiff names, including psychopath, and criticized her participation in the Apple podcast Nobody Told Me as a joke. 44. Defendant also threatened to go public with the plaintiff's abortion, knowing that plaintiff would lose respect as an advocate for domestic violation and victims' rights and insisted on recording their phone conversation so that he could repeatedly say the plaintiff murdered his child. Where is the text of that? Where's the proof of that? Because that could be coercion, but you haven't shown any proof of that. So I am not inclined to believe that was said. Simply put, defendant did not want a child to be born, not burn, under any circumstances, and was willing to say or do whatever it took to get the plaintiff to terminate the pregnancy without consideration for the fetus or the plaintiff. Well, the plaintiff didn't seem to care about the fetus either, because she was just willing to throw it away for love. 46. Plaintiff is suffering from a complete state of shock, depression, and guilt over the needless decision that she made for the sake of defendant's empty promises. Well, she's gone through this before with Maraschini, correct? So she has experience in this, if this is for real, which I don't think it is, because nothing made sense in that timeline. So that is going to be all for part 1, because well, this video is getting long, and I have no patience right now. So we will continue on with part 2 soon, ending out this video with our quote of the day. It makes no sense trying to make sense out of nonsense. And that is what I need to go try to remind myself, that I cannot make sense out of nonsense, because it's just not going to make sense. I hope you enjoyed this video and you come back for part 2. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.